Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your virtual course, that's C1000, Introduction to Statistics. My name is Dr. Araipur, and if it's easier for you, you can call me Dr. A. I sent you several emails as of a few weeks ago, hoping you've had a chance to explore the course. So, as you can see, this is the homepage of Canvas. And so I put the numbers, you just follow the numbers. Number one, there is a welcoming message, welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. Number two, class philosophy. Let's look at that. Let's see if we can quickly make this read out loud. And of course, if you need to get in contact with me, you can email me via Canvas, or here's the email address, araeipmr@laccd.edu. When you send an email from Canvas, it shows which course you are registered in. If you just use the email address, please make sure in the subject uh, line, put your information, including the course that you're registered. Going back to the home page. Number three is the announcements. Let me put this in student mode. Under the announcements, there are several announcements that have been sent to you as of August 11th. Basically, we've had information about the course, orientation exemption, old recordings, and of course, a welcome message to the course asking you to explore the course as follows. Go to the homepage of Canvas and follow every number. So we need to look at number 4. Under number 4, we have the syllabus, modules, and by the way, you can click on it right here or on the left navigation bar. We have the syllabus. Also, we have a simple syllabus. I will show you both in a moment. Uh, Modules is where basically everything happens. Under the modules, we have the practice test, where we find homework through a digital platform called My Open Math. By the way, everything is free class. Practice test and solution. Then we have the discussion forum here. And finally, you take the exams. What you notice here, we have the office hours, the information about the Zoom meeting and the time, which for this semester takes place on Saturdays from 9 a.m. To 10 a.m. And now let's look at the syllabus. I will look at the simple syllabus as well. Under the syllabus, we have the Excel calendar, which basically tells us every few weeks we have an exam. The exams are set up such that you take them all on Saturdays. However, on Monday of that week, you receive an email regarding the exam, which gives you the information. including the password. And you may take the exam anytime you want from the time you receive the email until its due date. And of course, bear in mind, it's 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. You want to take it early enough so you'll be able to handle the exam. There are a couple of assignments that are due immediately. One of them is called a mandatory introduction assignment to my open math. One of them is algebra review. And I expect them to be done immediately. The purpose of the first one is to help you get familiar with my open math. The purpose of the second one is to show you what is your prior knowledge of mathematics, how much you know it, and how much you need to do well in this course. And if you find, for any reason, if you find any area of difficulty, you can touch upon that or email me and I send you any resources you may need. Now, this is the actual syllabus. And first it starts with a welcome message. Then we have the topics. The reason I've set it up in this format because syllabi are getting larger and larger. So if a student is interested in a specific topic, let's say the grading policy, all you have to do is just look it up. However, let me take a couple of minutes to go over the whole thing. This is obviously the course name, section number, and so on, student learning outcome, course objective. The text, and I will show you when we go to my open math, the text is by OpenStax and it's free. The online work is done through my open math. I'm going to refer to it short as MOM from now on. Here's the class calendar and of course the orientation information. You're already here. As the class calendar indicates, every few weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, we have an exam. That's really the bottom line. And so exam reviews are recorded and posted on Canvas a week in advance. You can find all the recordings. And of course, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to stop by as far as the office hours is concerned. And as I mentioned, the exams are on Saturdays. You want to take them early enough so you are comfortable to take the exam. There is no proctorio. I believe everybody is here to learn. And so, of course, the expectation is that there is no, online help, if you will. You may use a graphing calculator, formulas. It's a table for formulas and tables for, statistics. I will show you where to find them. Meetings, everything is online. Technology and calculated formula sheets. Class, I believe everything should be free. So these are some of the free online calculators that I've found. And I highly recommend, if you don't have a physical calculator and you need a calculator, check these online calculators and see which one works best for you. For example, the first one is pretty popular with stat students, okay? This is called stat calculator. This is called Star Trek calculator. Those are pretty, they work pretty good, and students in the previous courses had a good experience with them. Tech support. Tech support for publisher, for Canvas, for campus, if you happen to have a tech support, technical issue. PyShop, which is the math lab, offers free tutoring, and we have the information as far as their website is concerned, and you can check it out for more details. Grading policy. This is a point system. We have a total of 1,000 points. The homework is worth 200 points, combination of online homework with introduction to my open math, which is 10 points, algebra review, which is 10 points. And I can't emphasize this enough. If the first two are not done, that means the students are not willing to put the time, and they may be dropped from the course. There are 4 exams. Each one is worth 100 points. And the final, which is comprehensive, 300 points, giving us a total of 1,000 points. Because it's a point system, at any given time, you should know what your grade is because the exam grades after they are taken, they are available to you in MOM as well as Canvas. As far as the homework, at any moment, you should know what your grade is in my open math. You can check it out. Now, 90% and above is an A. That means 900 points or more. 80% and above, that means 800 to 899 is B, so on and so forth. You have the entire week to decide which day to take the exam. The exam is due on Saturday. So basically, there's no need for a makeup exam. If something comes up, you can always let me know. With proper documentation, I give you a makeup exam. Your lowest grade before the final may be replaced by the final. If the final score is B, that means 80% or higher. Homework and discussion board, they are both at least at 90%. Needless to say, if you fail to take an exam, you will receive 0 point, and that will not be replaced. Course late work, there's a 10% deduction, and there's exception. The first couple of assignments, as mentioned, introduction to my open math, okay, algebra review, and the uh, last module, module number 5, doesn't have uh, a late work, okay? Now, discussion forums, they don't have late works either. Then there are more information. One thing that I found it interesting in the past, what is known as CSULB 36, that's study 36. That's a research that indicates we need about 3 times the number of unit hours per week to do well. In this course, which is a 4-unit course, 3 times 4, we need 12 hours. And that means outside the classroom. So if you're taking it in class, 4 hours plus 12 in essence makes it 16. So you need minimum of 12 hours to do well. Dropping policy, if you miss the orientation, you're already here. Don't register with the publisher immediately, miss the first assignments within the first week, or if you miss any of the exams, the first one, the second one, and others. Then we have some, useful informations such as OSS and financial aids, summary steps to success, study PowerPoints in each point, do your homework. Before the deadline, under the module link, and that means module link on my open math, watch the video lectures, okay, embedded in some homework. So not only I have the video lectures for you, a lot of homework that you do in my open math, you see videos that are embedded in there, and they are helpful in case you have a question. Study the practice test and their solution. Post questions in discussion forum on Canvas. Send your question via Canvas inbox. Attend the office hours for Q&A, and of course, take the exam. As far as the office hours, it's posted here as well as the homepage of Canvas. At the bottom of the homepage of Canvas, you can find the same information. Now, this part, I want to spend a couple of minutes. How do we behave? Of course, whether we are online or on campus really makes no difference. The bottom line is, and they call it netiquette for online learning. We have to be professional. We have to be courteous towards one another. When we write an email, we have to use the correct spelling and grammar, and the subject line is extremely important to make it clear for the reader. And in short, we want to use a positive tone at all times. Okay, so that's, I guess, pretty straightforward. So that's the synopsis of the syllabus. Now, if I go back to the homepage, before I move on to the next one, I want to also show you under the left navigation bar after the syllabus. Nowadays, they use simple syllabus. Let's see if it comes up. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for it to populate. And so it has basically the same information. So it's got the information about the course, the number of units, office hours, my information, course description. Here's the text. Again, you can find it here under the syllabus, and I will show you again when we go to do some actual homework in my open math. Grading policy, you find it here. Attendance and drop policy, course repetition policy. So there are accommodations, library. There are some informations here that um, you may not find it under the other syllabus. The point is, I've got both of them for you for a simple reason. I just wanted to make sure everything is covered, everybody. All right, so we did the syllabus, and the next one is the module that's got everything. But before I do that, I want to go to the discussion forum. So under the modules, I can cover everything in one shot. So again, I can click on the discussion forum here or the discussion forum on the left navigation bar. What do we find there? Number 4, we have a student bios. So what you do, I put mine as an example class. And some students have already put their bios. Fantastic. You put yours so your fellow students get to know you. If you want to reply to anyone, it will be wonderful. Just again, as always, with a positive tone, and we want to be courteous to one another. Frequently asked questions. In the past, there have been questions that students ask, and I put them here. So before you send an email, please check this part. For example, how to use a math editor. You're writing your discussion forum. So how to use the math editor is explained here. Course ID. Is there a need for course ID? By that, I mean for my open math class, it used to be that we didn't need any, but lately there have been a problem with the website Canvas in LA district. So we do need a course ID. I'll show you where to find it. Again, it's just right under the modules. Um, text, it's online. You can find it easily. I'll show you again. A tech support for Campus, for Publisher, for Canvas. How do I access the expired homework in my open math? It is explained here. How to check the grade in MOM. And by that, remember, exams you take them, I put them right after you take them in Canvas. But the homework is the part that happens at the end because in one shot, I put the grade at the end. Where to find the exam password? As you recall, I mentioned that it will be emailed to you. For any reason you missed that, under the announcements with the exam title, you can find them because it will be put in the uh, announcement and it will be emailed to you. So if in case you miss that email somehow, you can go to announcements under the same topic, exam 1, exam 2, whatever, and you can find the information as well as the password. So that's the discussion forum that you can check it out. However, there are 5 discussion forums, discussion forum per module. This is for 1, this is for 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And each one is worth 20 points. They are very easy, so I'm going to quickly show you what you need to do. I want to make sure that it's clear. For every discussion forum, you do three things. First, you read everything because you don't want to duplicate anything and you want to see what others have done. And then you pick a question. You can pick a question that pertains to the first module. If it pertains to any other module, is not acceptable for this module. Okay. For second one, the same thing. For third one, the same thing. You write the question and then you write the detailed solution. Students should be able to see that right then and there. You can use the editor. You can copy and paste it there in the form of an image. But if it's a PDF file that it has to be downloaded is not acceptable. I can't emphasize enough. So a good question it will get 10 points. When I say good question, if it's a one-word solution or one-line solution or definition, I have all the definitions, so they are not acceptable. So you want to show all your steps. Then you pick a similar question from a YouTube source, from Khan Academy, and you put it there for your fellow students to see. And finally, number three, and that's 5 points. You write a comment and you have to mention the name of a student. So I want to make sure that you know you've read that. And when you write a comment can't be, thank you so much, I learned a lot. That's not good enough. You have to explain what you learned. So I have put an example. So there's a question, and I'm claiming this question number 15. Then I want to find the mean, median, mode. I write formulas all in stats. You write formulas and you have access to the formula sheet. Okay. So write the formulas, show your work step by step, finish the job. So that is a good job. Then you pick a similar question online. This is a similar question online. And then you comment on someone's question. You write the post was about what and what is it that you learn. Okay, I hope everybody's clear. That gives you easy 20 points. And there are 5 of them. So you should easily get 5 times 20, 100 points. So that's the discussion for it. I'm going to go back to the home page. And the next one is the modules. Under the modules is what we pretty much find everything. You can find it on the left navigation bar or right here. So if I click on the modules, what do I find there? First and foremost, or you see my open math. So if you click on it, this is the information. You need 2 things. You go to the website and then you put the course ID. I suggest you copy paste it so you don't make a mistake. The same thing for enrollment key. Copy paste it and it will take you to my open math. It will take you here. We will look at that in a moment. So we have the information for my open math. The next one, recorded lectures and practice tests. So what do we find here? We find practice test here. Class, this is my YouTube channel. It has all the practice tests. Solution to the practice test. In fact, I'll show you where you find the practice test in a moment. And more of the practice tests. And this one, section by section, PowerPoints explained with details and recorded from the start to the finish. All the chapters, okay? So here, the very first one is the latest practice test. The one is the, the one before that. So this is the latest one, and this blue one, all the lectures, section by section. So I'm going to go back to module. So we have the first one for my open math, the second one for the practice test. Now, this one is the first module that we are concerned with. I'm going to come back to this in a moment. Then you see the second module, or you can call it exam 2 module, or weeks 4 to 7. Module 3, module 4, module 5. What comes after module 5? Again, a bunch of resources. So let me quickly explain what comes there as resources. First, we have the formulas. You can use a formula sheet for your exam, everybody. You can use formulas for your exams. That's why, or discussion forum. So if you are doing a discussion forum, write the formula. Okay. And then show step-by-step work. So we have the formulas here. The next one, tables. Now, this can be done by calculators. You can find the tables online, but I have them here, the z-score or z-table, t-table, chi-square table, F distribution. So we have all kinds of tables here. Again, the very last portion under the modules. And at the end of the resources, what is this one? These are calculator resources. What have I put here for you? Number one, when you go to this page, you have various calculators online. You also get a possibility of downloading an emulator for a TI calculator. And I'll be very honest with you, there have been cases that it's been difficult to make it work. But if you follow that, you may be able to download this calculator on your computer. If not, there are other graphic calculators. And I have all the TI commands that you need for statistics. So the very last one, you have the formula sheet, you have the tables, and you have information about the calculator, more specifically, TI calculator command. Now, as we go back up, 5, 4, 3, 2, those are different modules. If we look at one of them, the rest of them repeat. So what do I start with? I start with sample test, practice test, exam review, depends on what you want to call it, which covers the first 3 chapters. Notice what happens. Basically, you take 3 to 5 minutes of your time to read this and no more. And what it tells you what is being covered for the first module. You don't have to do anything, just read it for a few minutes. The second one and the third one. Here's chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 PowerPoints. I'll show you one of them. So here's section 1.1. Remember, I've shown you that you can find over here these PowerPoints explained step by step. So where do you find these PowerPoints? Right here. Okay, here's section 1.1. If I go back to the module, so again, that was 1.1 or 1.2 or 1.3. They're all here. Okay. If I click on number 2, it's chapter 2, same thing. We have 4 sections. Chapter 3, we have 3 sections. So we have the practice test. We have all the chapter lectures. What is this last one? This, everybody, is the solution to that practice test with details. So, what do we have? We have the sample test or practice test or exam review. We have the solution to it. And we have the PowerPoints that explain the solutions step by step recorded under the practice test recording of modules right here. So we have everything. And now I want to look at how you work with my open math. So after you register, it'll take you here to my open math. The very first assignment, and we're going to look at that in a moment, is introduction to my open math. It's due in a day or two. The next one is algebra review. Exams, for now, you don't have to worry about it, but you find it right here if you expand it. Here's the course description. And this one explains that all the contents can be found under the course modules folder. Now, before we get to the modules, we see a calendar here. Please pay attention to the calendar. First, we have the introductory assignment is due shortly. Algebra review is due close to that. Now, look at the date of the exam. And right before that, we see a bunch of homework. Please pay attention to the fact that if you wait until that day to do all the homework, you won't be able to catch up. So what do? All you have to do is just do about one section per day or every other day, and you'll be fine. By the time you get to Friday, you're done. My suggestion is that you be done by Friday, and then Friday and Saturday you concentrate on your practice test and its recordings. And I promise you, if you feel comfortable with the practice test, you will nail the exam. Then we have module 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Modules 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corresponds to module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of Canvas. So what is module 0? As the name indicates, resources. So what do you find there? You find the text here. And as I mentioned, you can view it online. You can download it as PDF. I think it's easier to view it, online, and you can navigate it easily. Sometimes it might take a little bit of a time, but it's really not too bad. You can go to a section of interest. It is based on this text. However, this one is easier to navigate, a lot easier, okay? This one has a better order, all right? Just to let you know. Going back to my open math, so we start with the textbook, information about late pass, grade book in mom, instructors resources, multimedia library. The free online calculators that I mentioned in the syllabus, you can find them here as well. Okay, everybody. And as I mentioned, please check them out to see which one works best for you. Some information for TI calculator and Excel in the form of a video library. Okay, everybody. P-value calculators. Okay, P-value will be discussed when we go with the test of hypothesis. And more online calculators. For example, this one, Desmond's, we also have a video explaining how to work with it. Then we have external websites, more websites. Online stat calculator, daily schedule calculator, study schedule calculator, you name it. So module 0, everybody, take a couple of minutes and see what resources are available to you. If you don't need any of those resources, you can ignore. If you need any of them, please remember it's there. So what do? You start with module 1. You see chapter 1 expanded. You see sections 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. You expand 1.1. And notice what you find under 1.1. First, you see a bunch of videos, and please report broken links. Then you see my video lectures. Then other recommended video lectures. But remember, if you've already studied them, you don't want to look at any of them, you can straight go to the homework section 1.1 and do the work. My recommendation, look at the red ones. You may find them, useful, and then do the homework. Although the homework, uh, most of them do have videos embedded in there. So how do we take the exam? I'm going to show you, for example, with this one, if I click on that and I start the exam, the purpose of this, of course, to get you familiar with my open math. This one says enter the number, so let's do that. 26.9456. Okay. The next one says we want to round it to the nearest hundreds. So 26.9. 4 next to it is 5, goes up to 5, okay? You know how the rounding takes place. Can I divide by 0? No, it's undefined. They don't have it. I'm going to put DNE, does not exist. And if you submit the question, look at the check mark. And we got 1 out of 1 point. We got the full credit for this question. And it's already registered. This one is 1/3. We want to change it to a decimal and enter 4 or more. Okay. 1/3 is 0.3 bar. Let's just on purpose make a mistake and put 1 decimal. And that makes it wrong. So what do? Very simple. If you get a similar question, it happened to give us the same thing, you fix the problem. So what happened? I made a mistake in the previous case, previous question. Now I didn't, and I still got my full credit. And that's the beauty of the homework here. You can get a similar question to get full credit. And I can continue with that, or if you go to the top, it says done. What happens when you click done? It already registers as my point the questions that I got right. The rest are unattempted. If I resume now or anytime before it expires, I can complete the work and get full credit. If I don't, then when it expires, the grade will be what I've already received for the first two questions. Of course, I'm going to exit at this point, but I hope it's clear to everybody. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go over the synopsis of what we covered. So here's the homepage of Canvas. First, a welcoming message. Second, class philosophy. Third, announcements that were sent to you or will be sent to you in the future. Number 4, we discussed the syllabus. Under the syllabus, right on the left navigation bar, syllabus or simple syllabus gives us all the information we need about the course. Under the syllabus, we have the syllabus as well as the Excel calendar. Under the simple syllabus, I've put everything that I could fit there just to make sure you have access to both of them. Then over here, I'm going to discuss that at the bottom, we have the office hours. On the left navigation bar, we have the discussions. Discussions contain student bios. Please put yours so your fellow students get to know you. Frequently asked questions. And from here on, you get 20 points per discussion forum. Discussion forum for module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. There are 5 of them, 5 times 20, 20 points. And as I mentioned, you want to follow the instruction. I highly recommend you read the instruction very carefully and then read all the posts. Okay, bear in mind, some of the posts may not be good, may even be wrong. You have to be very careful. Okay, and um, just pay attention to the instruction here to put the post properly. And then the next thing that I want to go over is the modules. What do we find under the modules? First, we find how to log into my OpenMath. This is the website, the course ID, the enrollment key. Then the recorded lectures and practice tests. You can find them there. These are the lectures. These are the practice tests. Then the very first module, exam one module, has the practice test, PowerPoints per chapter, per section, and the solution to the practice test. And as I mentioned, we have the practice test, the solution to the practice test, and the recorded solution to the practice test. Then the following modules are similar. The very last module under the module of Canvas is a bunch of resources, formulas, tables, and information about various calculators, including TI calculators command. And when we go to my OpenMath, we start with introductory assignment to my OpenMath, algebra review. We're going to ignore the exams for now. Here's the calendar. Please do your assignments on a daily basis. Module 0 contains a lot of resources. I highly recommend you look at them, see which ones you need, which ones you don't. You start with Module 1, Chapter 1, Section 1.1. Watch the videos in red. There are more videos, and then start your homework. That's how you can do well. Okay. All right, everybody. I wish you all best of luck and happy study.